Step by step on business. That's on my mama, watch me spin on me and split, now I can't feel it. We in the trap, we sold the city on my biddy. Take these diamonds off and show you how we lit it.
Welcome back to another episode of Before the Horn podcast. As you know, I am your host, Khalil. With me, as always, I got my guy, Daywan.
Yo, what's good? Let's go C's.
Anyway,
Wow.
we got a pack episode to talk about, episode 67. We're going to start it off, kick it off with our NBA Finals prediction. The finals are here. The finals are kicking off on Thursday. So we're going to give our predictions, who we got taking it home to Larry O'Brien this year, as well as discuss what happened this past Saturday at UFC 302, lightweight championship on the line. So we definitely got to talk about that whole main card, give our thoughts, opinions on the card that we've seen, as well as another fight that happened on Saturday with Deontay Wilder, him getting knocked out again. So we're going to get our thoughts and opinions on that and where should he go from here, as well as there's been a lot of controversy over the past weekend due to the on-court and off the court issues between Caitlin Clark and Kennedy Carter. So we're going to give our thoughts and opinions on that and, the state of the WNBA and, Caitlin Clark, as well as finish it up with Justin Jefferson. Just got paid the biggest contract in NFL history for a non-quarterback, 4 years for $140 million, 110 guaranteed. So we're going to finish it off with talking about that, give our thoughts and opinions on that. But without further ado, take it away, Daywan.
All right, like Khalil said, episode 67, let's get right into it. First things first, let's get right into our NBA Finals predictions. We got the Boston Celtics. They are representing the Eastern Conference, and the Dallas Mavericks will be representing the Western Conference. The Mavs defeated the Timberwolves 4-1, and the Boston Celtics defeated the Indiana Pacers via sweep. Khalil, the first game is on Thursday, but overall, what's your thoughts on the series, and who do you got winning it, and how many games?
Not gonna lie, from the moment it happened to now, I've been going back and forth. Like I have stakes in both teams pretty much. Like I have feelings for both teams. On one hand, Jason Tatum has been my guy since he was in high school. I've been rocking with him, been rooting for him. They've been here before. They was here, just 2 years ago. They couldn't get the job done. He didn't play too particularly well. So, you want to see him have a bounce back year and redeem himself for what happened 2 years ago. And on the other hand, you have the Dallas Mavericks. I'm a huge fan of Kyrie, Jersey guy. He's been one of the best players in the NBA since he stepped in the NBA. I've always been in his career and room for him. I would love to see him get another ring, without LeBron. And as well as, Luka Doncic, I just like his game. I like his attitude. If you want to go back to the past episode, the past game 5, he was talking crazy. He was talking crazy to everybody. He ain't matter who it was. He was on the court, off the court, in the stands. It didn't matter. He was talking crazy, and I like that kind of stuff. He's a true competitor at the highest level. You could tell he take the game personal. He may not say too much outside of the lines, but when he's on that court, he's a killer. He's talking crazy the whole 9 yards. But with that being said, though, I'm gonna have to take the Boston Celtics in this one. Just they have so much firepower. When you look at Dallas, it's really Luka or Kyrie. Those two players have to go off. For this team to win. You might get a little PJ Washington here and there, but for the most part, on a night in night out basis, it's gonna be Luka and Kyrie. If this team wants to make it far, and I think they do have a real chance of winning this. I wouldn't be surprised if they did win this. But when you look at Boston, you got the two-headed monster, J&J Law Firm, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. What those two can give you, two all-NBA players, two $300 million guys. At the end of the day, we went over the accomplishments of Jason Tatum on the last podcast and all the things that he's accomplished. Five conference finals since he's been in the league, 2 NBA finals now. Jaylen Brown, 6 conference finals, 2 NBA finals for him now. So, they've been battle tested. They've been here before. And then when you look at the other auxiliary pieces, you got a Derek White who can get you 30 at any night, play two-way basketball, all defensive second team this year, as well as Drew Holiday, who's also all defensive second team, who can at any night give you 25 plus a night. And then the biggest factor, you got Porzingis coming back, another guy that can give you 30 plus a night. any given night. You just have so many different options. So it's not solely relying on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Yes, for them to win, I do think at least one of them has to go off. But we've seen the situations where one doesn't have a good game, but the other one does. And, they find ways to win because, Derek White tripping for 25 or Drew Holiday tripping for 20. You get a Kristaps Porzingis back who can chip in for 25. So I think that's going to be the biggest X factor for right there. So for those reasons alone, I am going to go to Boston Celtics. I think this series goes 7, and I'm not going to lie. If this series goes 7, there's a real possibility that I would not be surprised if Dallas Mavericks win, because one thing I do know about Luka Doncic, he plays a lot better on the road than he does at home. And the Celtics doesn't play that good at home, which is kind of weird, but they really just don't play that good at home. So you could be in some trouble there. Luka likes being public enemy number 1. He does not care. And then we have the, Kyrie going back. We see when Kyrie, has a chip on his shoulder. You know how Boston fans are. You're going to get the talking. You're going to get the chirping. I know Kyrie would like nothing more but to shut them up. And, especially in Boston, I know he would like nothing more to shut them up. So I would not be surprised if this thing goes 7 and the Mavs find a way to win. But I'm going to just go with the better all-around team. It's been, their title to lose all year, essentially. So I'm going to keep rocking with the Boston Celtics. I got them winning in 7.
If you guys didn't know or you couldn't tell, I'm a huge Boston Celtics fan, but this series
Allegedly.
does scare me. Allegedly. Shut up. Don't start with the LeBron stuff. Honestly, I'm worried about this series. Luka scares me. This man has been a beat the whole playoffs. Like Khalil said, he doesn't care about being public enemy. He will go up in your stadium, or he'll go up in his stadium or his arena. He'll talk his talk and kill you. Like, this man is averaging over 30. He led the whole postseason in points, assists, like all that stuff, like rebounds. Like Luka was doing his thing. On the other hand, he got his partner, his sidekick, Kyrie Irving, which, again, I'm not trying to degrade Kyrie Irving as saying he's a sidekick, but Kyrie's a great player. Again, I know I messed up by not giving him the top 10 nod going into the season, but he's definitely proven that he's further in the top 10. Yes, that is crazy. And I apologize, Kyrie. You a Jersey guy. I love you. But I know you definitely want your revenge. Yes, I do love Kyrie Irving. But I know you definitely want your revenge with the Boston Celtics, as this is your former team from a handful of years ago. You say you want to stay in Boston, and you end up leaving. You go somewhere else, and the organization and fans in the city, they just completely take a crap on you. Every time you come to Boston, they're trying to boo you out the arena. They're trying to throw you off your game. But this Dallas Maverick team, they have everything you need. They have 3 good big men, in my opinion. Derek Lively II, he's been really outstanding as rookie this year. His PER has been phenomenal in the playoffs. He's been great on defense. Jones, he's been playing good at the big man position as well. He plays a great defense. Gafford as well. He's another big guy in here that's doing things. And another thing as well that Dallas Mavericks have, PJ Washington. He's going to be a big X factor for the NBA Finals. I'm excited to see how he plays. Again, him and Gafford came from the bottom. They came from 2 bad teams, and now they're both playing in the NBA Finals. That's crazy. I would also love to see the Mavs utilize Tim Hardaway Jr. in the series. I feel like Tim Hardaway Jr. really do something in the series, but again, that's up to head coach Jason Kidd. I'm going to transition over to Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd, again, he's won a championship with the Dallas Mavericks in 2011. They beat the Miami Heat in 6 games back then. So Jason Kidd, he's back here again. Jason Kidd has not had the best head coaching career, but this is definitely a huge milestone for him. I know he already has rings as a player. Now he has a chance to go get another ring as a head coach, his first as a head coach. So let's see. And on the other hand, you got the Boston Celtics. This team, they can be streaky, but they were the best team in the NBA the whole year. They finished first in the East. You got J&J firm, like Khalil said, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Only thing is, when one's off, the other one has to be on, or they're both but sometimes they're both inconsistent. That's the thing that scares me about Boston. But like Khalil also mentioned earlier, they have a lot of other X factors and weapons around them that help them out and get them some wins. Let's talk about Kristaps Porzingis coming back from injury. He hasn't played since the first round. He's most likely going to be back. Let's see how limited he is. Let's see how healthy he is in this series. I feel like Boston, they want to rush him back in the second round or the third round, and they got him back at the perfect time. Drew Holiday, him and Derek White, both second-team All-NBA. Drew Holiday already has a ring, already has multiple NBA All-Defense selections. So does Derek White. Going to be a 1-2 punch to stop Kyrie and Luka Doncic. Those are very, very important. And Al Horford off the bench, Peyton Pritchard off the bench, Luke Cornett, Sam Hauser. The only thing that concerns about this whole series is how will Joe Mazzulla coach this team. You already know I don't like Joe Mazzulla. I know Khalil definitely doesn't like him, but I cannot stand Joe Mazzulla. He's on my shit list. I don't like him as a coach or as a person. So let's see how he coaches. Let's see how he coaches as his first NBA Finals. But all in all, no bias. I'm going with my Boston Celtics in 6. What? What do you make? What do you start with now? What did I do now?
I
What did I do now?
don't
See,
know.
guys, y'all see what I'm saying, right? This man, like what?
It was just an all in all, no bias. I think there's a
I'm
little in
not.
there. I think
No, there's no little
there's a
bias.
little in there.
I literally said the Mavs scared me, and I told you why they scared me.
No. You can say the Mavs scared you the whole 9 yards, but still say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna rock with my team because it's my team. Like you can still be biased.
Shut up, man. You a hater. But Khalil, I can see why you said the series can go to 7 because Boston, again, they're inconsistent. We've seen games where Boston loses like a game 2 or game 3, and it's like a weird loss. But with the Dallas Mavericks, it's not going to be a weird loss. Like Boston does have their one off game, but it can be multiple for this Boston Cell team. This is the most complete team that they'll be seeing in the playoffs so far. They saw a Miami Heat team without Jimmy Butler in the first round. Then in the second round, they had the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5. Donovan Mitchell, he got injured in about game 3. He didn't play game 4 or 5. Then third round, after game 1, Tyrese Halliburton hurts his hamstring. He's not finishing the rest of the way of the series, and Boston escapes with a sweep in every close game afterwards. Boston definitely has the work cut out for him with the Dallas Mavericks. Like I said, Luka Doncic is a killer. He is terrifying. Top 5 player in the league. He got his sidekick, Kyrie Irving, top 10 point guard in the league. He's ready to come back to Boston to ruin it for these young core players, some of these vets on his Celtics team, and for the city to get their 18th ring. He's ready to stomp on that and add to his legacy and complete the storyline of the last 7-8 years that he went through in the whole NBA. So this is going to be full circle for Kyrie if he can go get a win. Also, if Luka Doncic get his first ring, I feel like Luka, that's honestly all he's missing to his legacy right now. He's had multiple first all NBAs. He's had Rookie of the Year. He's had all these awards, his accolades. NBA Finals will definitely be the cherry on top. It'll also be the cherry on top for players like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who are also seeking their first ring. But yeah, I'm going to say Celtics in 6. I would say 7, but I'm going to give my team the edge in one game.
So I actually do have a question, but before I get to that question, I think kind of like you kind of mentioned it, but you didn't really go into detail. The biggest factor I think is really going to be coaching. When you really look at the landscape, I think Jason Kidd is the way better coach. I think he just went through his trials and tribulations, his ups and downs. And another thing is that you've seen Boston get into these close games. A few of them they should have lost. Especially in the last years when you look at what they did against Indy. I'll tell you this right now that if they're in a situation like that, you have two guys that can close a basketball game in the last 5 minutes. Both guys can shut the lights out for anybody. So if you go out there, you make mistakes and you play bad, you turn the ball over, you miss wide open shots, especially late in the clutch. You on the other end, you have two guys in the Dallas Mavericks with Luka and Kyrie that at any given point can shut the lights out for anybody. Especially when two guys that got something to prove. So I think that's going to be a real big factor as well. Is that these games are probably going to be a little bit close. So what happens in the fourth quarter, coaching wise, with the one on the hand, I think Dallas Mavericks is got the better coach. They got the edge in that. And closing wise, and I think the Dallas Mavericks also has the edge in that. With the two best closers in the series, in my personal opinion, are both on the same team, that being the Dallas Mavericks. And I think another good thing is this team kind of matches up pretty well when you look at like the Dallas Mavericks and like who they like to play. When you talk about Lively and Gafford, two guys that can move their feet. So if you got Kristaps Porzingis back in the lineup, you want to stretch the floor, whatever the case may be. You got two guys that can get out there and play on the perimeter just a little bit and not get too uncomfortable against a guy like Kristaps Porzingis, who's 7'3", Derek Lively 7'1", so he's not far off in height. So I think that's going to match up very well. I think Derek Lively is going to be, even though he doesn't start, he's going to be a big X factor because what we've seen, in the last few series that he doesn't start the game, but he plays the most important minutes when the game matters. So I think that's going to be a real big thing in this one as well. But my question to you is this: who do you think a championship helps more as far as their resume? Jason Tatum or Luka Doncic?
I'm gonna say Jason Tatum. And again, this is not being biased. It's just Jason Tatum. Like Luka has all the accolades. Besides rookie year, this man was a 5-time first All NBA selection. Like, come on, he has all the accolades as well. He's already known as top 5 player. Jason Tatum, he's been here to the finals in 2022. He lost against a veteran Warriors team. That same year he lost to Warriors, he had one of the worst postseasons in NBA history. And the next year after that, they fall short to Miami Heat in 7. They had to come back down from 3-1, but still, or 3-0. But it don't matter. But Jason Tatum has been here already. Jason Tatum, they try to make him the face of the league, but he hasn't shown that he's capable of them making the face of the league. He doesn't have that dog in him. Him winning his finals will definitely add to his resume. It'll be very, very important to that. Him and Jaylen Brown, because they're both making huge money. I mean, Luka Doncic, he's eligible for a huge contract. I think he's gonna get that after these finals, no matter if they win or lose. But I think this would definitely be more sweet for Jason Tatum.
I'm right there with you. I think this means just a little bit more for Jason Tatum, given the fact that you've knocked on the door a few times. You've been here before.
Exactly.
This is not your first go around. One, you did not play good. You did well. I wouldn't say he didn't play bad. He made some crucial mistakes at key periods of times in that finals. He looked young in that finals. He got exposed by a veteran ball club. And, you chalk it up to inexperience and, a team that's been to six finals. So, like, it's completely understandable of everything that, went on in that series. But he definitely does need to bounce back, have a bigger series. And just given the fact that, Luka, like, he's pretty much won everything up until this point besides the MVP. 5-time first team All NBA. This is his first time in the finals. The first time he made it to the conference finals, nobody had him making it to the conference finals. Jalen Brunson was his co-star at that point, and nobody really had this team making it. So like this is the first time that even this team, like some people didn't think this team would make it, but they turned it around late in the season with the two key additions of PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, and I think just given the age as well, Luka has more time, even though he's in that vaunted Western Conference. But I think I'm right there with you. Jason Tatum, this just means a little bit more, as far as his legacy wise, because like I don't think he's going to get the MVPs that Luka is going to get. So he needs to, stack those championships while he can get them while you can. Granted that you have the best team in basketball all year, like the road was set for you. You just have to finish the story.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, give us y'all NBA Finals predictions. Like I said, first game is on Thursday, June 6th. Give us y'all thoughts and opinions about the critical X factors, critical key players in this final series. Also, we want to know who y'all got in the series well and in how many games. We want to hear all that in the comment section below. All right, moving on to the next topic for tonight. UFC 302. It went down this past weekend in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center. It was an okay card. I feel like, honestly, it was snooze fest up until the last 3 fights. But Khalil, let's get right into it. All right, in the first fight in the welterweight division, we saw Randy Brown defeat Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos via unanimous decision. Honestly, Randy Brown dominated this fight, in my opinion, from start to finish. It was pretty, all judges had to score the same, 29-28, respectfully. He just did his thing. He was very efficient standing up. A lot of head strikes, a lot of significant strikes. Honestly, I knew Randy Brown had this fight after the second round. I was like, yeah, Randy Brown kind of got this. Barring something could happen in the third round, but Dos Santos didn't look like the better fighter out of this whole fight. Randy Brown was just putting it on him. He was consistent. He kept at it. He got the dub at the end of the day, respectfully. So it was definitely a right decision, and I'm happy that Randy Brown won as we predicted.
Yeah, I think, and I kind of called this fight. I said Randy Brown's when he had to use his striking to his advantage, his length and size, and sometimes he did, but sometimes he let Dos Santos get in on him a little bit too much. I thought he should have created space. And another big thing was he did get taken down 4 times. I think that's where this is why I got so murky. This is why he didn't run away with the fight. This is why it was kind of a closer fight. And if you do remember, he almost got choked out at one point. He was able, luckily, to get out of it. But it was just like small minor mistakes that you seen from him. That's like, bro, like take advantage of the guy. You're better than him. You're a better striker than him. Fight your fight. Don't let him get you to the ground. And you're going to win this fight. And we've seen it on the feet. It's just the fact that, he got taken down 4 times and gave up 5 minutes and 33 seconds worth of control time. That's why this fight was closer than what it really had to be. So it was a good win for Randy Brown, a guy that's been on the come up, who's been growing, who's been maturing. Maybe it's just time to, see if he can get a number by his name or whatever.
Hopefully.
He did call out the gatekeeper of all gatekeepers, Jeff Neal. I'm here to see that fight. I think that would be a good fight for him coming up next. But let's see if he, is ready to jump into that top 15 to compete with those big dogs up there. But all in all, it was a good win by Randy Brown.
All right, moving to the next fight in the welterweight division. In their second fight, we saw Nico Price defeat Alex Moreno via unanimous decision. Nico Price did everything you wanted him to do correctly in this fight, in my opinion. I mean, he went 5-5 for takedowns and had over 3 minutes and 30 seconds of ground control. That's phenomenal, especially in a 15-minute fight. He definitely got the key needed points to help him secure this victory. And, Alex Moreno, he wasn't that bad as well. A lot of head strikes, His strikes to the body were definitely efficient on Nico Price, but I feel like those takedowns really aided in this win. And also the significant strikes that Nico had landed as well. I think those significant strikes paid dividends. And like I said, also the key addition of the wrestling and ground control aided to Nico Price's win. But again, this is a pretty close call, as Ari Judge again scored it 29-28. But Nico Price, I definitely had him win this fight, and he got it.
Yeah, same. I picked Nico Price to win. He was the underdog in this fight. These two guys faced off a few years ago, I think 2017,
Yep.
if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, or somewhere
it was
around there.
2017.
Yeah, and Nico Price actually lost, but it got called a no decision because Alex Moreno popped for marijuana, which is now a legal drug that you can use. So I'm gonna count this as a 1-1 tie after this fight.
Likewise.
Just for the simple fact, like I don't care what they say, but yeah, you could tell Nico Price came out with something to prove. Given the fact that he did lost, he was 5 for 5 on takedowns. 3 minutes and 37 seconds worth of control time, especially in that third round when you know he needed to lock it up, and that's exactly what he did. Striking, he was a little bit more efficient on the feet as well, and I think that's where the biggest difference came in. Plus, I think Alex Moreno just looked gassed and tired. Like his mouth was open.
He did look out of shape. He did look out of shape.
He looked lethargic, pretty much. Like,
yeah.
well, he already does fight on his toes, so it's kind of weird because like he's like already got a little bounce to him. But like it kind of looked sluggish, and like you could just tell it was wearing on him. Like the time was just wearing on him. You know, it was just a matter of time. Like Nico Price was going to take over and control this fight. So maybe he didn't have the best camp or condition or whatever the case may be. But Nico Price came out and did what he had to do to control of this fight in the later rounds and got the dub.
All right, let's move on to the third fight of the main card. In the middleweight division, we saw Kevin Holland finally bounce back and get a win as he defeated Michael Oleksiejczuk via first round armbar submission. Now, again, I know on Friday's episode, I said Kevin Holland was going to slip up, and I said he's going to find a way to lose. But I said he should win this fight. And I even texted at the killer. I was like, yo, Kevin Holland better win this fight. Even though I picked him to lose, he better win this fight. And he did. Now, I didn't expect the fight to end this way. I did not expect a first round submission from Kevin Holland. This man literally put him in the armbar. He got it so efficiently. He worked his way to the armbar, got it, secured it, and Michael Oles was not tapping. And then Kevin Holland looking at the referee like, yo, like, you going to sleep at the status, man, because I'm going to break his arm. He ended up breaking his arm. Like, Kevin Holland literally said he heard the arm pop. And Herb stepped in and was like, hey, that's it. That's the fight. And after the fight, Kevin Holland's like celebrating. You see Michael try to get up and push off his arm to get up off the ground. And you see his arm just caving in. It's like, oh, it was so nasty. But definitely big win for Kevin Holland to get him back in the win column. Happy to see him win. Again, I thought he's going to mess around and lose this fight because he played too much. But I feel like he walked to this fight seriously and needed to get that bounce back W to start being back into that top 10 conversation. But good win for Kevin Holland.
Yes, it's a solid win for Kevin Holland. And like you mentioned that you felt like Kevin Holland might do something to put himself in a bad situation to where he has the possibility to lose this fight. And he did. He got knocked down early in the fight. That's what set up him getting the armbar, even to lock into armbar. But, Oleksiejczuk just left his arm in just a little too long, and Kevin Holland took advantage of it. Like you mentioned, Oleksiejczuk was not going to tap. He wasn't tapping. You could see it when his arm popped, and Kevin Holland is just cranking it. And hats off to Herb Dean, because at some point you gotta call it. You could tell his arm was messed up, because even after he called it, he was just sitting there and his arm was just like dangling by his side, like it was done. Like it was done.
So
he cracked it. Yeah, he cracked it. But it was a good fight by him. Quick fight. He took care of business in a minute and a half. So I really don't have too much from the fight besides great execution, even though you did get knocked down in this fight. But my question to you is, if you remember the recent comments of after the fight, he called himself the best gatekeeper there is. He said he's willing to fight anybody, anytime, any place, anywhere, which is, I think, why some people do like Kevin Holland, because he's not afraid to take a fight no matter who it is. You remember he took, Hamza Chimaev on a day notice, and that's not an easy deal to deal with somebody like that, especially on a day notice when you're planning on fighting someone and then you end up having to fight somebody else. So he's one of those guys that step up and fight anybody. But my question to you is, do you think he should stay at 185, or do you think he should stay at 170? And if so, who do you think you see next for Kevin Holland?
I'm gonna say 185. I'm gonna say stay at middleweight. I mean, he looked better as a welterweight, like he does. But I know he don't care about cutting weight or nothing. But I feel like I like the competition more in the middleweight division now. And welterweight, I feel like we can put him against Tony Ferguson. We talk about welterweight, put him against Tony Ferguson. I like it. Like, hey, they both at this point they gatekeepers, both not fighting for nothing, like to compete for.
That's
I'm being for real, bro. Like, let's be real, bro. Come on. What? What's wrong with that?
I don't like it.
Whatever, man. Whatever, bro. Whatever, man. This man don't like nothing, guys. Anything I say, I'm always wrong, or he always goes.
No, that's just bro. First of all, Tony Ferguson already has a fight book for August, and it might be his last fight. So
it might be, but
I don't really care to see him in the octagon again. I think Kevin Holland piece him up. Listen, I think he should stay at 170 and let him fight Nero Magny. Let him get a fight in with Nero Magny. I think that's the way to go. My personal opinion.
That's boring. Nobody wants to see that.
Huh?
Nobody wants to see
what
that.
What do you mean? It's the gatekeep. It's two gatekeepers. Fighting off. I think I think he deserves a fight like at somebody with a number next to his name at 170. And when you look at the landscape, Vicente Luque, I don't really see him fighting him. MVP is fighting E.M. Gary in a couple months. Neil Magny, that's my ideal fight for him. Joaquin Buckley, maybe, but Joaquin Buckley just came off a good win, so I wouldn't be mad if they gave him somebody like a Wonder Boy Thompson or something like that. Jeff Neal, it could be another option, somebody who just got called out by Randy Brown, so we can see what's happened there. That might come to fruition, and then possibly Sean Brady. Like that's what I'm looking at as the guys that's ranked above him. So the one that intrigues me the most is probably Neil Magny, maybe a Joaquin Buckley, but I don't know if he wants to fight down. I think he's looking to move up in the rankings, so we can see what happens there. But just looking at the landscape of the 170 division, where I think he should stay, I think Neil Magny would be the best fighter for him.
All right, let's move into the co-main event, which is 5 rounds, also in the middleweight division. We saw a split decision victory by Sean Strickland in a 5-round fight as he defeated Paulo Costa. I'm not gonna lie. First things first, whatever judge scored this 49-46 in favor of Costa, you need to be drug tested. You need to be kicked off a judge panel. Because how the hell are y'all saying that Paulo Costa even had this fight even close? I had a 50-45 Strickland. In my opinion, Strickland dominated the whole fight. Damn near my opinion. Like it was a complete domination, but he won majority rounds. Like he won 4-1 in my opinion. Khalil, stop. Like you really think Paulo Costa? Like no, they pretty much stood up. It was boring, and it was really boring. But Strickland definitely dominated, and he showed why. Like he's like, look, I was being a company guy. I deserve a title fight. And I think he's right. We talked about this in the past. I think Sean Strickland gets his rematch against DDP. I mean, he lost to DDP, but he definitely deserved that rematch. But who knows if Israel Adesanya will come back. And I know Khalil probably got a question for me after this, but this fight was a tad bit on the boring side. I feel like Paulo Costa, whatever. I feel like Paulo Costa, like this fight had the potential to be fireworks, but it really wasn't. And it's just like I said before on Friday's episode, Paulo Costa, he just can't get over that hump. I mean, he just suffered his 4th loss, but he's lost to some really good fighters in this division. But it's like, bro, where were you at? It's like you landed 158 total strikes, but I feel like the whole time, like he was like in a way ducking like contact at some points of the fight with Sean Strickland. Like he wasn't like pushing forward too much. And Sean Strickland, he put it on him, and he rightfully so won this. But I think Strickland won the fight 4-1. But I'm just saying this right now. Even Dana White said it. Whatever judge scored is 49-46 in favor of Costa, they need to be kicked off. And that pissed off Dana White. So if it pissed off Dana White, it pissed me off. I think Sean Strickland is due for a title fight, respectfully. He says he's been a company guy. I think he put Strickland against DDP next, if y'all think he deserves it. But that depends on the return of Israel Adesanya.
This fight was fucking ass. All right. First of all, I'm going to say that first of all. This fight was fucking boring. Honestly, I think we kind of watched 2 different fights. I scored the fight 48-47 in favor of Strickland.
Oh, how is it that close? It should never been that close. Stop. No, stop, bro. Please.
First of all, I think some of those significant strikes that they were giving to Strickland was not really like. I feel like he was just throwing, putting something out there, and they were telling that significant strike. But like, I don't think he really did any damage to Paulo Costa. I don't think his strikes were doing any damage to him. They were those early rounds.
Keep going. My bad. Keep going. I'm thirsty.
Okay. Yeah. Take a sip of your water, man. Because like I said, like I don't think, especially in those early rounds, like those, like he was, I don't know. I feel like he was just touching them. It didn't feel like they was like he was fighting. He was just touching them.
Oh, did he?
I would say Paulo Costa kept backing, like he kept backing up. One thing about Sean Strickland, you know about Sean Strickland, he's going to keep coming forward. He's going to keep walking forward. I really don't like the way he fight. I honestly, like, I think it's pretty boring in my opinion. He doesn't have any power in my personal opinion as well. I think like what, what?
My bad.
Yeah,
And he's showing that
you
power.
see,
He's shown that power in his last two fights, besides this one. Against Adesanya and DDP. Stop. Are you serious? Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. Go, 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 go. Go.
I don't really think he's that much of a power puncher. I think he's more of a volume striker. In my personal opinion, the thing that he has to his advantage that he keeps trying to walk down people, and you know he's getting people out of his game. Like when you look at Paulo Costa, we seen him against Yoel Romero and guys like that, and how he was a lot more aggressive against those guys than than recent, especially in this one. I think, and they mentioned it on the broadcast, like so he hasn't really fought the same aggressiveness since the Izzy fight. Izzy, probably did something to his confidence, with that. And then, the missing weight and then the injury, the arm injury and stuff like that. It's like one thing after another. So like it's been kind of hard to get Paulo Costa on track 100%, you know. So, I don't know. We're discussing a little bit where he should go from here. I think, like I said, though, I think Sean Strickland did win the fight from this level. But as far as damage and stuff, like I don't think he inflicted as much damage on Paulo Costa as the total strikes may seem or whatever. So all in all, I think it was a closer fight than some. Yeah, the judge that did score at 49-46 is fucking insane. In favor of Paulo Costa is fucking insane. I don't know where you get that from. There's been a lot of questionable judgment. It was a lot of questionable judging in these fights in New Jersey, which is kind of bad look for New Jersey judges and stuff like that. So next time we go back to New Jersey, because I know they will, they definitely need to tighten that up. A guy like that needs to go back to the amateurs, referee amateur fights and stuff like that, because you can't have scorecards like that. Just given the fact these are people careers. These fights have a lot of implication of where you go from here, because we see, a decision go one way for a guy and then he rises to the top in his next couple fights, or you see a decision go against somebody and then it's just all downhill from there. So we've seen it in both instances. So we cannot be messing up with these scorecards. I feel like, every other month or so we're talking about the scorecards. Honestly, we could talk about the scorecards every month if you watch the fight nights as well, because there's always some iffy scores judging somewhere. There's a lot of gray area for some of these fights. And, I don't know how we do it, how we get it out the fight, how we get out of the fight game, because it's one of those human errors, human opinion things. So like it's kind of hard to get out of the fight, out the fight business, but you want to try to relegate that as much as you can. But what do you think Sean Strickland? Well, you kind of mentioned Sean Strickland should be fighting DDP next, and I can agree with that. I don't have no issue with that, given the fact it was a close loss in his last fight, and it was a close loss in his last fight against DDP. Some guys had him winning that fight, depending on who you talk to. Some people had it 48-47 DDP, 48-47 Strickland. So I'm not mad at if, that's the next fight that happens on the cuffs. But as far as Paulo Costa, what you think should be next for him?
Well, he's definitely going to drop down to, I think, at least like number 9 or number 10 in his rankings in the middleweight. He's already walking into the fight at number 7. I just think Dana White is going to put him against somebody like in the range from like number 5 to like 15. Because again, Paulo Costa, he's shown why like in critical fights or big time fights, he just can't get the job done. Like I said, his last win was against Luke Rockhold. That guy was past his prime. And I'm going to predict that Costa doesn't fight for a title in the rest of his career.
I mean, I could see a route where he makes it back there. Maybe he takes a step below Malva, but I don't see him dropping too far in the division. He lost to the number 1 contender. But like I said, when you look at the landscape of this division, there's a lot of people with fights booked. So we're going to see what's happened there. As you mentioned, Sean Strickland just fought this weekend. Izzy's on a hiatus right now. Robert Whitaker has a big fight later this month against Hamza Chimaev. So we're going to see what happens there. Jared Cannonier fight Malva this weekend. So that's going to be a big fight within this 185 division that, we got to keep an eye out for this weekend and see how things shape up. Vettori and Brendan Allen, the two guys that's in front of him, doesn't have a fight book right now. Brendan Allen did fight Chris Curtis just in April, so 2 months ago. So, he's sitting out there at 6. But honestly, like, I can see Paulo Costa fighting like a Jack Hermanson or like a Roman Delavalov. I can see that. Even I think there's still two, ideal fights for him at this point. You got another up and coming guy and Chao Barella. He's ranked 12th right now in the division. He just fought last month. He got a big win. He got a number next to his name. So that could be another guy, a young guy that's on a come up. He's 16-1 as a professional fighter. So I could see, maybe Dana puts him against him to see if, he can move up. So I can see that being a big ideal fight, especially for a young guy. Let's throw him in the fire. Let's see if he's up there, given the fact that he's 16-1. So I think that could be a big fight for him. He's on a 13-fight win streak as well. So I think ideally that would be the fight I would want to make. It's Paulo Costa versus Chao Barillo. I think that would be the best fight to make.
All right, let's finally get into the main event of the night. As we saw, Islam Makhachev defeat Dustin Poirier via 5th-round Darce choke to retain his lightweight championship. I'm not gonna lie, we gotta start putting some serious respect on Islam Makhachev name. We have to. And I know everybody's saying, "Oh, he just wrestled." Nah, dog. Like, he literally outclassed and outstruck one of the best stand-up boxers in this sport in Dustin Poirier. And I'm not the big. Yes, he did. Did you not watch the fight? Did you not watch the fight? Yes, he did. He did. He did. Are you high? Stop. Put the drugs down. Seriously. He ankle picked him. He took him there. Every round he took him there. Now Poirier, he got his licks in, and Poirier gave Makhachev a run. But bro, something about these Dagestanians. Somebody has to stop these guys, because these guys can just wrestle and they do what they gotta do. And everybody said, "Oh, he's just gonna just out wrestle Poirier the whole time," which he did. He definitely had some takedowns, but he stood up with Poirier. And again, Poirier, he's gonna get his licks in. He's one of those polished boxers in this sport. But Makhachev took it to him, and then, like I said, and just like I said on Friday, Poirier's gonna slip up and do something stupid. Cause I'm not gonna lie, he lasted a while. Poirier's one of the veterans in UFC, let alone in this division. He's doesn't Poirier. I put some respect on his name. I just say in title fights and the big fights, he chokes, and he had something good going for himself. And he was gonna lose the fight regardless. Yes, he was gonna lose the fight. In my opinion, up to that point, he was losing the fight. But right when he slipped up and got submitted, I literally was literally like this. Told you so. Told you so. I knew that was gonna happen. But hey, kudos Dustin Poirier. Islam's just a different breed, bro. I'm sorry, you gotta put some respect on Islam's name. You got to. I'm not trying to be funny, but Islam retains his lightweight championship. And I know Khalil probably got a question for me at the end, so I'm gonna save for what I have to say.
I guess we watched two different fights. I'm gonna just say we watched two different fights.
No, stop.
I must have watched the wrong fight or something. I gotta get a new TV. I think that's.
You gotta put some freaking glasses on too.
Yeah, I think my TV is messed up. I gotta get a new TV. No, that's what it is.
All right, bro. I'm listening to this BS.
Huh? BS.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I think personally that Dustin Poirier did win on the feet. I think he was the better striker on the feet. Don't get me wrong, Islam is a good striker, but I don't think he's an all world-class striker. He's a very good all-around fighter. But, I think where Dustin had his fight, and I'll be honest, I had this fight 38-38 going into the 5th. Just to look at the scorecards real quick, Eric Collin had it 39-37, Makhachev. He gave Dustin Poirier the 2nd round. Sal D'Amato had it 39-37 as well for Makhachev, but he gave Poirier the 4th round, not the 2nd round, like Eric Collin. And then Chris Lee had it 38-38 with giving Dustin Poirier the 2nd and the 4th round. And I was right there with Chris Lee. What I thought Dustin Poirier won the 2nd and the 4th round. The thing that I did see, and the most glaring thing was for me, is as long as Dustin Poirier stayed off the cage, he was in the fight the whole time. And anytime he got into trouble is because he let Islam get him up against the cage. Because in the center of the octagon, anytime that Islam tried to take him down, he could not get him to the ground. He tried to leg pick, all that stuff. It did not work. Single leg, none of this stuff worked. He was 5 for 16 on takedowns. And for a wrestler of that world class, and given that Dustin Poirier is only known as a striker, and Dustin Poirier did not allow him to take him to the ground for the most part, unless when he got up against the cage, and that's when he found himself in the most trouble. I think Dustin Poirier did what he had to do. I think, like I said, I think he had the edge in the striking. I think his striking was just a little bit better. I think he picked the shots a little bit more. Yeah. He busted Islam Makhachev up. He opened up a couple wounds on his face. You know, he wore the damage that, you know, Dustin Poirier dished out. I will say this, in that fifth and final round, I'm not gonna lie. What happened in that fifth and final round for Dustin Poirier to get out there was world class wrestling. You know, the ankle sweep. Not many people can
That
do
was
that.
so nasty.
Not many grapplers can do that. Not many people. You can't train for something like that because most people can't do stuff like that to even train for it, to be ready for it. It just so happened, you know, that Islam is an all-world grappler. He specializes in Dagestani wrestling, and you know he did what he had to do, ankle sweep to a Darce choke. And I did say, as long as Dustin Poirier stay out the way, and you know the thing about Dustin Poirier, he's always going to slip up. And the thing is, usually they make him pay. Earlier in this fight, he slipped up. Islam couldn't make it pay for him in the first and second round. Well, the first round mainly, I thought he was in trouble in that first round, but he came out in the second round, you know, controlled the fight for the most part. He did get taken down late, and I guess that's why Sal Diamato didn't give him the round. But I thought he still won that round, all in all. But like I said, it's just the experience of the wrestling that Makhachev has. You know, that's what it really came down to at the end of the day. Like I said, he did pretty good when he wasn't up against the gate of stuff and takedowns and stuff like that. So we'll see what goes from here. But let's talk about Islam Makhachev. I got two questions for Islam Makhachev. So over the weekend, Dana White made some comments about who's the PFP fighter out there right now, and Dana White said it's John Jones. It's not even close when you look at what John Jones has did, and up for the years in this organization as John Jones. But in your personal opinion, who is the pound for pound best fighter in the world right now?
Logically, I want to say Islam Makhachev because title defenses and him being on the streak and dominating this division and in this sport. Heart is saying John Jones because this man came back after a hiatus and captured the heavyweight title. Yes, he suffered a pectoral injury that's going to silo him until later this year when he fights Stipe Miocic and possibly his last fight. But pound for pound, I mean, I think it's still John Jones. I'm not being biased. Love John Jones. Again, go to the UFC in my opinion, but it's pretty close with him and Islam. I'm not gonna lie, because Islam has been active and defending his title and beating really good guys and holding on to the belt and letting know he's on a great streak. So you gotta respect that. But John Jones, again, another guy has gotten in trouble before, has been inactive in the UFC. Yes, he came back and captured the title, but it's like it's so close. So you can call it either way. But I'm gonna say John Jones, just because I love John Jones. I'm gonna keep it at that. I'm not
gonna. I'm gonna go John Jones as well, because I'm gonna be honest. When we talk about what John Jones have done and did in his organization, when you think about any of the all-time greats at the 205 division, John Jones has beaten him. He does have a loss on his record, but he didn't lose that fight. So John Jones is undefeated. He's fought some of the best of the best. Dominic Reyes, Santos, Anthony Smith, Gustafson, Cormier twice, St. Preux, Glover Teixeira, Chael Sonnen. He's fought Vitor Belfort, all the greats that came through the 205 division. John Jones has fought and beaten him. Even like the Rashad Evans. Like, think about that. He's been in this game long enough to fight the Rashad Evans and the Rampage Jacksons. He's beating those type of guys. He's beating Hall of Famers of the highest tier within the UFC. And I'm sorry, when he came back in his fight back, which I think is what's been 2 years now. No, it's been over a year. It's been over a year. He suffered a pectoral injury, but I think me and you were on the same page that we thought Cyril Gane was the best fighter in the division outside of John Jones and Francis Ngannou. It's just so unfortunate that's the two guys you have to face within your division for a title fight. And you know, you fought the best of the best, and John Jones went out there and made quick work of him in 30 seconds. So just to think, you know, for a guy that took 3 years off, but it's not easy to take 3 years off, come back and look phenomenal, finish arguably the best heavyweight outside of John Jones and Francis Ngannou in the world in 30 seconds. So I'm still going with John Jones as well. He's the tier. He's the apex of them all. Islam is very, very good, but John Jones is just a different breed. You can't ignore everything, the work that he's put in to get to where he is at this point in his career. But my second question to you is, Where do you think Islam goes from here?
Hey, I'm telling you who I think is next. I think Arman Sarukian is next up for Islam Makhachev. Arman definitely deserves it. Again, he beat Charles Oliveira. Dustin Poirier just lost. I don't think any other guy in this division right now is suitable for Islam Makhachev. So I'm gonna say Arman Sarukian is next one.
I'm gonna split the hair here. I think Arman Sarukian should get the next title fight. Just like you said, the landscape of the division. When you look at Oliveira's ranked number 2, he just lost. Gaethje, he just lost. Poirier, he just faced him and lost. Mateus Gamrot,
Gamrot,
maybe.
maybe.
I think he's a fight off. And then you got the big fight looming at the end of this month with Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor.
Conor
Who
McGregor.
knows? Conor McGregor, if he comes out and he looks anything like what he used to be, he can find his way into a title shot real quick. It's Conor McGregor at the end of the day. But another one that kind of intrigued me, and I'm not the big, I am not the biggest fan of stuff like this. Guys, winning a fight or two, and then trying to call up
Jumping.
for the next guy, trying to jump the gun, run through your division, whatever the case may be. But I'm kind of intrigued by the Leon Edwards fight. When we talk
He did call him
about
out.
when we talk about strikers of the highest class, Leon Edwards is it. The displays that he's put on as of late, and we seen what he did to Kamaru Usman twice back to back, and then when he went out there and did to your favorite fighter, Kobe Covington, and pretty much took care of him. Pretty much took care of him. So but here's the thing about Leon Edwards as well. Like, he's not afraid to fight anybody, any place, anytime. As you can recall, for UFC 300, Leon Edwards said yes to 3 opponents. They all backed out. So now he has a fight next month in July against Bilal Muhammad. Another one of day one favorite fighters. So we're gonna see what's happened there. But yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by it. But I think Arman Sarukian should be the next guy to get the title fight. What do you think is next for Dustin Poirier? Do you think he should continue fighting, or do you think he should call it a career at this point?
In my opinion, Dustin Poirier, and it's not me hating or nothing, I think he should call it a career. Again, very decorated fighter. No, seriously, I'm being for real. Like, I don't think he's gonna be competing for a title. The next thing we could probably do is, again, put him up against like Chandler. I don't want to see him against McGregor again. I don't want to see that. But there's other guys he can fight in this division, but he's already accomplished everything he needed to accomplish. Only thing he just couldn't do was recapture the lightweight title. He's fought for the BMF title. He's held the lightweight title. He's fought against some great guys in the UFC, and he's went out there and put on a full display against, in my opinion, number 2 pound for pound in the world, Islam Makhachev. He took him to the limits as best he could. Islam was just a better all-around wrestler, and he did land some great strikes on Islam, but Islam was just too much for him. So I think it's time for Dustin Poirier to call it quits. I think he did hint at retirement before. I think that'll be best for him.
I don't want this to be it. If it is, I completely understand. But I'm gonna throw out a fight that kind of intrigues me and that I would like to see. I would like to see Dustin Poirier go up to 170 and fight Day One's favorite fighter, Kobe Covington. I think that can be a big fight, very interesting fight. I'm kind of intrigued by that fight. I would love to see that fight. But if he was to call it a career, I would completely understand. But I would like to see him fight Kobe Covington. That would be a very, very interesting fight, in my opinion.
I think they both suck. Well, no, I think they both should just not sign that fight. They shouldn't sign that fight.
He shows his true colors. He shows his true colors. You show your true.
I'm playing. Poirier don't suck. He just chokes in big moments for me. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for UFC 302. Give us y'all thoughts and opinions on each fight that we mentioned in the main card. Like Khalil asked, what's next for Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa? What's next for Kevin Holland, either in 170 or 185? And what's next for number 2 pound for pound fighter in the world? In my opinion, in our opinions, Islam Makhachev, and then should Dustin Poirier retire or keep sticking it out in lightweight division, or should he move up? Leave that all in the comment section below. All right, moving into the next topic. We saw Deontay Wilder continue to take another L. This past Saturday in Saudi Arabia, Deontay Wilder got knocked out in the 5th round, less than 2 minutes in the 5th round, by Zhilei Zhang. Deontay Wilder is 38 years old. Zhang is 41, but Deontay Wilder, definitely this loss probably put it in to his title run, or a possible title run that he could have had. My question to you is, let's hear your thoughts and opinions on the fight. My next question is, what is next for the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder?
I think it's over, honestly. Just to put it mildly. it, he was just a one trick pony. He was never a boxer of the highest level. When you really look at the guys, and you know how this game works is you work your way up through the amateurs, and then you have 100+ fights in amateurs, and then you go on to go fight in the Olympics and stuff like that. You really learn how to become a polished boxer or whatever the case may be. And I just don't think, how late he started. I think he started at the age of 21. He just started out so late. But he did have a good run. He lost 3 of his last 4 fights, all by knockout. And I think he was just never the same after that Tyson Fury fight. One of his down, he's just way too light for the division. He's
Yeah.
like that's
Wasn't
one
there
of the
like
biggest.
a 40, 30 pound difference in this fight heading into the
68
fight?
pound. It was 68 pound
Oh,
fight.
what?
Weight
Woo!
difference. Yes,
I thought it
it
was.
was.
Oof,
No, it was 68 pounds that he came
wow.
in weight difference between him and Zhang, and that matters. There's a reason why there's weight classes. There's a reason why you don't put a guy that weighs 200 pounds against a guy that weighs 160. It's just, and that's only 40 pounds. But think about 68 pounds. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight that you're giving up. And we seen what happened when he did that against Tyson Fury. That just took a lot out of him because Tyson Fury, all he did was hold on to him, wear him out, wear down his legs, and then eventually, get the win against him. And I just don't think he's ever the same. He was ever the same after that. I think he should call it a career. I don't really see no point in him continue the fight at this point, because there's nothing good that's gonna come from this. Once your chin goes, and his chin has gone. His best days are behind him, and at this point, he has to save himself before he be one of the ones that has to get carried out the ring. Combat sports is not a loving sport. At the end of the day, whether it's boxing or MMA, it does not, as much as you love it, it does not love you back. And once it's time, it's going to let you know it's time. And what we
Yeah.
say, and the storybook in it is that you want to see the greats go out on a high horse on top and stuff like that. And in most sports, you can you get Kobe Bryant's 60-point game, you get Tom Brady last run, you get Peyton Manning last runs and stuff like that. But I'm gonna be honest, in the fight game,
It's brutal.
we have
It's
way too
unforgiving.
many examples. We have way too many examples of guys who just stay around too long, and they just get beaten and battered. And the one that we talk about a lot as of recently is Tony Ferguson, a guy who's been taking a lot of L's, who needs to just hang it up, whose chin has gone, and we've seen it in his fights. And he was another guy who had a good reign, but when it's time to go, it's time to go. And the fight game going to tell you that you just have to listen. And I think for him, given that he has 8 kids, spend time with your kids, bro. Enjoy your kids, bro. Don't it's just not worth it. You done made your money. You done made a name for yourself. You're good. You're set. Hang it up, bro. I just don't want to see anything bad happen to the guy at this point, bro. Because starting to get sad.
Now, you talk about Deontay Wilder. Again, I mentioned he's 38 years old, and he kind of basically was a one-trick pony, like Khalil said. Like, he lost the last 4 of his 5 fights. He's notably known for his draw against Tyson Fury in their trilogy fight, which Fury won the last 2 fights pretty easily, in everybody's opinion. We all saw those fights. But Deontay Wilder in this fight, and I'm watching it, I'm like, bro, this gotta look the same no more. Like, you're pushing 40. You just gotta hang it up, like Khalil said. And I'm happy the example he brought up was Tony Ferguson and the UFC. This is boxing. This is just straight stand up heavy hitting. Like, these are heavyweights. Like Khalil mentioned, I thought it was like less than 60 pounds, but apparently it was a 60-pound weight difference between him and
68, so you
Jean.
pretty much close to 70.
That's insane. But Wilder, this whole fight, Wilder only landed 16 punches out of this whole fight at 17%. He thrown 95. Zhang threw 73, landed 33. That's 45%. Wilder only landed 5 jabs. Wilder is one of the best powerful boxers in the heavyweight division, but it just didn't show. Like, it hasn't shown a lot lately. And I feel like that fight with Fury, the second fight with Fury, really broke Deontay Wilder. It kills his steam. I feel like it affected his mental health. But I think this might be the final goodbye and farewell with Deontay Wilder. This fight might have been nailed in the coffin, because I don't think he's going to fight for a title. But honestly, Zhang opened up as the favorite. Wilder, it's just time for Deontay Wilder to hang it up. As a black man, we support black men, but I also feel like you should be hanging out with your family, spending more time with your family, and not keep putting your health on the line and just stacking up these losses. Like, you're 43-4-1 now. That's not a bad record, But where we were before years ago compared to now, we're seeing the fall off, and we've seen the fall off, and the fall off is pretty apparent here. And I think you should just hang it up, Deontay Wilder. So that's just what I think. Again, it's sad to see that. It's sad to say that for a man that's 38 years old, but it's pretty apparent Deontay Wilder needs to retire. Ladies and gentlemen, give us your thoughts and opinions on the Wilder and Zhang fight. I think Deontay Wilder should hang it up, or should he keep fighting in the heavyweight division? If he does stay and fight, what does he need to adjust and improve on? If he does retire, do you think it's for the best for him to do? Do you think he has a Hall of Fame / accoladed career in the whole sport of boxing? Leave it all in the comment section below. Moving into the next topic. Caitlin Clark has been a big commodity since her collegiate days, breaking all these records, being in multiple Final Fours and championships. Now she's a star player, or one of the two best players besides Leah Boston, on Indiana Fever, one of the worst teams in WNBA last handful of years. But Caitlin Clark has definitely brought a lot of attention to herself, but not out of like anything bad. It's just the attention she brought to the WNBA, making WNBA viewership. WNBA is now getting a lot more attention thanks to mainly Caitlin Clark's presence. But this past weekend, Kennedy Carter had bumped intentionally. It looked like an intentional bump, but she intentionally bumped Caitlin Clark.
It was intentional.
It was 100% intentional, but she bumped Caitlin Clark. So later, it was just called a regular foul, but the WNBA later on reviewed it, and they turned it into a flagrant 1 foul. So after the game, they had a press conference. The reporters at the press conference, they mentioned a bump on Caitlin Clark, which looked very intentional, which it was intentional. And she said, I don't even want to address or talk about Caitlin Clark. And then later down the line, she comes out and says, Caitlin Clark's nothing good for WNBA. She's just good at shooting threes. And also, fellow teammate, Chicago teammate, Angel Reese, who is also another reason why WNBA is great, who's also had a decorated college career. She came out and said, Caitlin Clark isn't the only reason why WNBA is popping. I'm one of those reasons as well. So, Khalil, what's your thoughts and opinions on this whole situation? Is there a lot of jealousy and envy surrounding the Caitlin Clark's entrance to the WNBA?
100%. 100%. And we talked about this before, but given the certain situation that happened this weekend, we have to talk about it again. And my biggest thing is this: that was a dirty shot. That was a cheap shot. You went back and reviewed it. You did not give her a flagrant 1, which was blasphemy, because obviously, the ball wasn't even inbounded yet, and she just goes up and gives us a hard pump. Like what that's textbook 1. So that I don't know why it took them a whole day for them to come back and rule it a flagrant 1. It should have been a flagrant 1, 2 free throws in that situation alone. Indiana Fever did not need the 2 free throws because they went out and won this game anyway. But this team, my biggest thing, what I had an issue with as well?
What's up, bro?
Where was her teammates? Where was her teammates?
Yep.
Because
I was gonna say that as well.
Not letting that
I was gonna say that as well.
Not letting that fly, especially on my best player. Not a chance.
I would have got up in Carter face. I would have got up in Angel Reese face. Like, we would have been duking. Like, damn near duking.
Aaliyah Boston was right there, right next to
Didn't do nothing.
Didn't do nothing. I'm sorry, bro. Like I don't like that, bro. You need to protect your best players. You need those people, who got your back, who's going to be an enforcer, who's going to make sure you good, whatever the case may be. And honestly, like they didn't have that, and like that's part of my issue is like, bro, where's the people? Where's your teammates that's going to step up and stand up for you and set the tone for you guys? That was a big problem for me, as well as that. Yes, a lot of stuff has transpired this year. As far as WNBA, let's take it back to the draft. That was the most view. I think it was like 2.1 million views.
It was so many people that watched that was tuned in.
Yeah, that was the most ever. And no, it was not just Caitlin Clark. It was Angel Reese. It was Camilla Carter. It was Kia Jackson. It was all of them combined. But a big factor of it was Caitlin Clark. And I say Angel Reese is second, but the big factor is Caitlin Clark. Another thing, that when Indiana Fever went out and played LA Sparks, that game had more in attendance than any Lakers game this year. That's unheard of. They haven't done that. What's the key factor in that? What's the common denominator in that? Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
In 5 games, the Indiana Fever has had more guests in attendance in the 5 games than they did all of last season in 20 games. Biggest X factor in that. Caitlin Clark. New York Liberty has had the highest gate when they played the Indiana Fever ever for a WNBA game for them. The X factor in that, Caitlin Clark. So I get it. She's a white girl coming into the WNBA who hasn't earned her stripes yet, who hasn't done anything in the WNBA to, warrant, I guess, all the love and attention she's getting. But that's the reason why a lot of stuff is going good for you guys right now.
Just
I'll
like
be
LeBron
honest,
said.
this is the first time that I've actually paid attention to the WNBA. No offense,
Same.
I probably like tapped in like, oh, it's not like this is going on, but I've never watched a WNBA game for real until this year with Caitlin Clark. So that I'm gonna throw that out there right now. Take it how you want it. It is what it is. But another thing for me as well, think about all the new money and new revenue that's coming in because you guys, and I get it. People been throwing out there, oh, like Caitlin Clark's not the reason why we got chartered flights and all this other stuff. But people was been saying this been in the work for 5 years. But guess what? I see nothing happen until Caitlin Clark went out and said, "That's crazy that we got a 5 promotion and all this." And a week later, all of a sudden, everybody got private charter flights.
Yep.
It must just be a coincidence. It must just be a coincidence, like everything else. Because before that, like y'all couldn't get the ball rolling. If it's been in the works for 5 years, whatever, maybe it's the revenue or whatever the case may be. A lot of people the WNBA has been in the negative. The NBA has been covering some of the WNBA expensive because they're not
For years.
a revenue drawing business. Now they're actually making money. Now sponsors are actually wants to get involved with the WNBA, want to back the WNBA. I'm sorry, respectfully so. And it could be one of the situations where it's been in the work for some time now. But to think about all that Asia Wilson has done, 2-time MVP, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Finals MVP, is she just getting her signature shoe and get announced right after Caitlin Clark get her signature shoe announced? I think it's just one of those situations where Nike was like, if we're gonna give it to her, you gotta give it to her.
Yeah, give it to her.
But a lot of more people are gonna eat off the back of Caitlin Clark. So y'all need to uplift this girl and not hate on this girl. I get it. She's a rookie. She hasn't done anything. She hasn't proved anything. But she's the reason why we even talking about it, Kennedy Carter right now. Because I'm gonna be honest. I swear I never knew who that woman was until she did what she did to Caitlin Clark.
If you want to look up her history, this girl has gotten cut off of
She has an extended
teams.
history.
Exactly.
There's a reason why this is her third team in 4 years.
Exactly.
And she's the number 4 overall draft pick. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why, like I said, nobody would know who you are unless if you didn't do what you did to Caitlin Clark. Because you could have tweeted out all everything, nobody would pay attention to it. But since you did what you did to Caitlin Clark, now
you got some more clout.
Yeah, now you're getting clout and stuff like that, whatever the case may be. But because nobody knew who you were before this. But like I said, bro, it seems like a lot of hate, jealousy, and envy coming this girl's way when people should use what she's building up for their own advantage. Eat off of her back. Somebody else got to get some of those sponsors. She can't take all the sponsor there, but sponsors are going to want to be involved. Be a reason why you're the next person they call when this happens.
We talked about this before, and I'm happy that LeBron and Charles Barkley shed light on it. The way they said it, it was questionable, but we saw the truth behind it. I feel like a lot of these players in this league are jealous and envious of Caitlin Clark in the attention that she's brought to the WNBA. Now, yes, there were other players that have been in the league longer, like you mentioned them: A'ja Wilson, Kelsey Plum, Sabrina Ionescu, Breonna Stewart. We can keep going. But the fact that Caitlin Clark has spoken up, done her thing, and the excitement she brought to the collegiate level, transferring that to the WNBA, the professional level, it's outstanding. Yes, we know Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, those other players as well, but any arena that Caitlin Clark steps into is getting sold out. Any place that Caitlin Clark's going to, any deal, any sponsorship, they're reaching out to her. And if I'm a woman in the WNBA, I'm gonna eat like Khalil said, I'm gonna eat off of the attention that Caitlin Clark is bringing to the league. I'm gonna bust my ass, grind, and try to get some of those own sponsors and get more money in my own pockets myself. I'm not gonna be jealous or envious of Caitlin Clark and then the attention she's bringing to this league. Because without her, these arenas are getting sold out. Like Khalil said, the WNBA has been being backed by the NBA for years, especially revenue-wise. The WNBA just could not have got it done by themselves. Now they have a chance to. All these sponsorships, the attention they're bringing, all the revenue they're bringing, jersey sales, anything selling out arenas, playing in the NBA arenas. Like, bro, what more can you want? And like Khalil said, it's because of the common denominator of Caitlin Clark. Yes, there are other great players in this league, but without her, bro, let's be real. I was not watching the WNBA heavy the last handful of years. I was just like, oh, okay, this game's on. I like this player. Oh, this is cool. This year I've been tapped in, and it's mainly because of who? The attention of Caitlin Clark. Now, it doesn't matter what skin color she is. This woman could ball. She's the #1 draft pick for a reason. She's made numerous round of accolades in Division I collegiate basketball. Yes, she never has won a national championship, but her ceiling is through the roof, and she has the potential to be the best player in WNBA in a couple years. And I can see that happening. Maybe the hype chain is real. Maybe it's gonna spiral out of control, but I don't see that happening. She just has to fix her game. And Nesh, she's more than just a 3-point shooter. She's gonna work on her game. She's not a collegiate athlete anymore. She's a grown woman playing in a professional league. So of course she's gonna up and develop her game. She's a lot of great mentors around her. And the fact that the Indiana Fever GM came out and said, like, yo, like players are actually just coming out and like intentionally attacking Caitlin Clark. Like, bro, why are women so jealous and envious of each other? Aren't y'all supposed to be supportive and uplift each other? Like y'all, most of y'all are so fake and two-faced, bro. Like I'll be trying to get like I'm being for real. If I was women in this league, bro, if I was Kennedy Carter, and Kennedy Carter, you definitely got your clout up off of this. Like Offset said, they do anything for clout. They do anything for clout. She did that for clout. Cause like, bro, what was the point of that? Like, young lady, you've been on 3 teams in the last 4 years. You played overseas. Like, you had to go play overseas to get your money up and your exposure up. Like, it wasn't you wasn't cutting it in WNBA. Now you go out there, you intentionally knock down Caitlin Clark, which I don't know how WNBA didn't assess that as a flagrant one during the game. They had to come back and review it days later. It got so much publicity. But you go to the press conference, you just pretty much like, oh, I'm not talking about Caitlin Clark. Because one, you know you were wrong. And two, you sound jealous and envious as hell. And then you come out and say, oh, she's not good for nothing but shooting threes. Like, what? And then Angel Reese, bro, I'm not going to lie. Like, you're not selling out stadiums and arenas, baby girl. Again, beautiful black woman. All you can do is, honestly, in my opinion, you can just score from the paint. Like, your game is like in a one way, you just rebound and just score in the paint. You can't do nothing else. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but you're not as skilled as Caitlin Clark. So don't say, oh, don't like sound, because Angel Reese sound like a hater a little bit when she said, oh, she's not the only reason why. It's not because of one person. It's because of me too. Like, girl, we know, but you're not bringing the attention that she's brought. Like, yes, you were the Bayou Barbie. You have national championship. You defeated her one year, and then she defeated you the next year. But y'all making it about competition. And it's in my opinion, it's about competition only on the court, not off the court. And I feel like these ladies are taking it off the court. And we said this before in a couple episodes ago that Caitlin Clark was going to get a lot of welcome into the league. And she's getting her welcomings to the league, but it should not be done this way. But that's all I gotta say about the whole situation.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I didn't even talk on Angel Reese. I'm a big Angel Reese fan. They can never make me hate you. You know, I love you. You know, big fan over here.
Hey,
But
he wants you. Hey, Angel Reese, Khalil wants you to fly him out. Like he really wants
you
you.
feel me?
He really want to be a
out.
passenger princess. He really want to be a passenger princess to you, Angel
On
Reese.
me. Oh God, bro, fly me out. Let me be courtside at the game.
This man, he gonna paint his nails for you and everything, Angel.
Go ahead, yo. Go ahead. But like you mentioned, like Caitlin Clark is not the biggest reason. She's not the reason, but she's the biggest reason. I'm a big Angel Reese fan as well. I've been supporting Angel Reese for the past few years. I've been in her corner the past few years. But I'm not going to be oblivious to the fact that a lot of attention is on Caitlin Clark, and you're second in that. But respectfully so. But you lead all rookies, and I think you lead the NBA in blocks or rebounds or something. Oh, she leads the WNBA in offensive rebound. She leads all rookies in rebounds and blocks. But Caitlin Clark leads the all rookies in scoring and assisting. So Caitlin Clark is a very good passer as well. Just to throw that out there. So as though some of the attention is on you as well, but Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind it all. Caitlin Clark has brought a lot of people to the table who wasn't at the table before. And, you know, like I get everything that, you know, celebrities are coming out to these games for you, whatever the case may be. But I'm sorry, like nobody in the game is moving numbers like Caitlin Clark is moving numbers. Like if you want to put this in perspective, nobody moves numbers in rap like Drake moves number in rap. Nobody's selling out tickets in these arenas like Caitlin Clark is selling out tickets in these arenas right now. So respectfully, so like she's just, you know, she's the head of the snake. Like I'll be honest, like think about all the great players that's been in the WNBA as of recent, the Asia Wilsons, the Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, the Maya Moores. Like if you want to go back Candace Parker's and stuff like that. But nobody has ever drawn the attention to the women's game the way this woman has. And you got to put respect on her name for it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, give us your thoughts and opinions on Caitlin Clark's treatment currently in the WNBA. How do you guys feel about a Kennedy Carter shove on Caitlin Clark? Do you feel like the Caitlin Clark's welcoming to the WNBA are unnecessary, or do you feel like they're justified? Also, how do you feel about Angel Reese speaking out saying that she only one player isn't the reason why WNBA is popping? I'm a reason as well. How do you feel about Angel Reese partially backing her teammate, but also speaking up for herself? And also, how do you feel about WNBA as a whole treating Caitlin Clark? Do you feel like the treatment she's getting is justified or unjustified due to the attention she's bringing to this league? Leave that all in the comment section below. All right, last topic of the night. We're going to get right into football. We now have the newest, highest paid in NFL history non-quarterback and wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson, receiver that was drafted in 2020 by the Minnesota Vikings. The Eagles slipped up, messed around, not grabbed him, but whatever. Let's just skip past that. But Justin Jefferson signed a new contract. Shut up. Justin Jefferson signed a new contract, 4-year, $140 million contract with $110 million guaranteed. He is now the highest guaranteed paid wide receiver above Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver AJ Brown, who is receiving $84 million. Lil, what's your thoughts and opinions on Jefferson's new contract, and how does this set the bar for other NFL receivers such as CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase and others?
It moves the needle up. 3 guys have gotten paid record-setting money. Amara jumped Tyreek Hill by $2,500. He made $30 million. And like $2,500 just to jump Tyreek Hill, and then AJ Brown goes out and jumps him with 32 total million, and then Justin Jefferson goes out and reset the whole market, getting paid more than Nick Bosa, Chris Jones, everybody else with 35 million a year. 110 guaranteed. It just resets it sets the market, and it sets the tones for guys like CeeDee Lamb, who's trying to get a deal done, who did not show up to OTAs. Jamar Chase, another guy who's trying to get a deal done, who's not at OTAs. T. Higgins, he's not at OTAs. I think he falls somewhere around that Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith range, given the fact that he's the number 2 to Jamar Chase, number 1, respectfully so. Because I do think T. Higgins could be a number 1 on any team. So I don't think he should take any slights at all, take any discounts, get your money, get what's coming to you. You earned it. So do what you got to do to get it. But, I think this just resets the market. And when you look at and I'm one of the ones that like it. I've seen mixed reviews about it. This is a lot of money for a receiver. He plays a position, whatever the case may be. But look at the landscape of the Minnesota Vikings. You got a young quarterback in J.J. McCarthy who's coming in on a rookie deal, so you don't have to pay him for another league. Can we not do that right now? Can we not do that right now? Like, you gotta stop hating, bro. You gotta put your arms down. Put your arms down, bro. Put your arms down, bro. You don't know what he could be. This guy, man. Bro, I'm tired of you, bro. I'm not even gonna look at you. But you got a young quarterback at JJ McCarthy. You got Sam Darnold signed, so you're not paying a quarterback right now. You let Danielle Hunter walk, so you're not really paying any big money. So this is the perfect deal, because by the time and JJ McCarthy's the guy, and he's their franchise quarterback. Are you done? Like, damn. Like, if JJ McCarthy's the guy, by the time you pay him, you're going to be reading up Justin Jefferson contract at that point. So it won't be as big of a cap hit as it's going to be looking right now, which is smart. So I like the deal from that standpoint. So, I'm here for it. I like it. He deserves it. He got 1,000 yards, and he only played 10 games last year. So insane. That just goes to show he got in 4 seasons just under 6,000 yards. Imagine if he did play those 7 games last year, where those stats would be at. He would be well over 6,000 yards. He'd probably be around 6,500 yards in his career within 4 seasons, which is he's already all time and the most receiving yards in the first 4 seasons for a receiver. So it's rightfully deserved. I have no issues with it. I'm happy for him, honestly.
Kudos to Justin Jefferson. You secured a bag, buddy. Hey, it looks like we're going to see a lot of more gritties up in Minnesota, a lot of more touchdowns. This guy, again, in my opinion, you can still argue he's number 1. A lot of touchdowns
from J.J. McCarthy. A lot of touchdowns from him.
No.
A lot of touchdowns coming his way from him.
you can argue that he's 1A or 1B to Tyreek Hill and talk about who's the best receiver in the league, but Jefferson's definitely up there for sure. That's why he got this money.
Ooh,
Now,
a little hot take, huh? Not hot,
yeah,
but you know what I mean.
1A, 1B. But Jefferson definitely deserves his money. But my question is, who the hell gonna be throwing this man the ball? Again, he got his bag. It don't matter. But who will be throwing this man the ball? Like the quarterback room in Minnesota, it sucks right now. Are you kidding me?
Bro,
Like, don't put no stock into JJ McCarthy. I'm telling you guys this right now. I will put my whole paycheck that JJ McCarthy is gonna be absolute dog shit for the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think he's gonna be good at all. Khalil loves him. Khalil loved him when he was at Michigan. I did not love him.
bro,
No,
hold on,
Khalil loves him. I don't love him.
no, hell no, we're not doing that.
I
I
don't know
know,
how he got up the draft board that high, like to be that high of a pick. Like I still don't get that to this day, but whatever.
I don't have a problem with the pick, but this is what I'm not gonna let you do. He's not. He's a winner. At the end of the day, he's a winner. He knows how
So
to
is Brock
win.
Purdy. So
Yeah,
does Brock Purdy.
so
But
what's
you
wrong with
hate
that?
Brock Purdy. You hate Brock Purdy.
Bro, but Brock Purdy's getting carried. Listen, it's not the same though. It's really not the same. It's not the same. He's better than Brock Purdy.
You know, talent wise,
Talent wise, he's better than Brock Purdy.
he is. No, he is. I'm saying talent wise for the team. Yes, you're right. Purdy is getting carried, but it's kind of hey, McCarthy about to have the best receiver in the league.
But there's a reason why McCarthy was a first round draft pick and Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant. And there's a reason why JJ McCarthy was a 5-star coming out of high school. And there's a reason why he won a national championship. Okay. He makes plays when plays need to be made. I think he has a very, very good offensive coordinator who's going to put him in that position to thrive. You know, he did what he had to do. And that's the thing that you look for. Not all quarterbacks are spectacular, but some quarterbacks just know how to win the football games. And he's one of them, in my personal opinion. So
thank you. You know what? Hey, let me know what size McCarthy jersey you want for Christmas for your birthday. I know your birthday's in September, bro.
Oh
I'll get you a mixed Michigan and Viking jersey. Like it'll be like the half ones, like half and half down the middle. And you can sleep. You can sleep in it every night and cuddle in it. You get kiss all over it. Like, oh my god! Like,
you give me I'll get you a Draymond jersey.
No, don't give me no Draymond jersey. But hey, Justin Jefferson definitely secured the bag. He got his money. It is a lot of money for a receiver, but let's be real. The cap and the ceilings is gonna keep going up every year. We keep going in this league, bro. Like the richer just get richer, bro. Like this man's getting paid
crazy this year.
That's what I'm saying. It's just the rich just gonna keep getting richer. But I'm just happy for Justin Jefferson, and he put out on a video on his Instagram as well. Make sure y'all check out his IG. But Justin Jefferson definitely deserves his money. I'm excited for him. Let's see if he can keep killing it in Minnesota. My only concern is his quarterback room. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I know Khalil is, but I'm not. But we'll see how the season turns out. Again, the season's right around the corner. We have 3 months until the season starts. I'm excited to see more gritties and hopefully more touchdowns and more records being shattered by number 18 in Minnesota, Justin Jefferson.
All right, so before we get off this topic real quick, what do you think CD and Jamar, like, do you think they jump him? Do you think they get under him? What do you think they should go from here? Because I think those are the 2 biggest names that are out there right now in the contract market.
Well, I mean, Jamar Chase has been to the Super Bowl. I mean, his rookie year was insane. He took the team to the Super Bowl, led the team in receiving. Only thing Jamar Chase doesn't have is all pros. I mean, he has pros, but CD has 2 all pros. Jefferson has multiple all pros as well. So I think CD shouldn't jump Jefferson. He's probably going to be right under Jefferson, but now that he saw what Jefferson getting, he's like, dude, I want exactly that or a little bit more or even more than that. And I feel like Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones is so like, he's so passive aggressive and he gives the players their money. He's going to end up paying CD Lamb all that money.
Well, Jerry Jones' problem is he waits too long.
He
waits
does
to the last minute.
Because they should have been inked the deal with CD Lamb, but now Jefferson just set the bar extremely high. So Lamb's gonna like, hey, CD Lamb gonna be this. Hey, I led the league last year in receptions and all this other stuff. I was the outright best receiver on this team. So, hey, he got this. I want that too. And we got drafted the same year. So what we talking about? That's how it's gonna be.
It's tough. Kind of right there with you. I think they both deserve their money. Do they jump that 35 million mark? That's tough. Especially when you look at let's start with Jamar Chase first of all. Cincinnati don't like paying people as it is. Mike Brown is very cheap. He's a very cheap owner. So he's not one to, dish out a lot of money. So we're going to see what's happened there. If he even, so we're going to see what happens there. But I think it's going to be hard for him to get over that $35 million mark just with that. And some of the guys they got there, Joe Burrow got his money already and stuff like that. And Dallas Cowboys as well. I think it's going to be another hard situation just to jump that 35 million mark and not get paid, but we're just talking about jumping that $35 million mark. It's going to be hard because you have Dak Prescott, who's in the final year of his contract. He has to get a deal done. You're going to have to back up the brakes truck for him, given off the phenomenal season he had. He was in an MVP race last year. Let alone, don't let him, if you wait too long and he starts to replicate that same thing that he did last year as far as, yards and stuff like that. You're going to have to eventually that price is just going to go up with him. You got Michael Parsons now. Michael Parsons is now eligible for a contract extension going into his 4th year. He's now contract eligible. He's technically on the last year of a deal, but he still have a 5th year option that they can exercise. But he's another one that you're going to have to pay. And defensive line, I know he's going to want to get more than Bosa. And Bosa's making 34 right now. So he's going to want to get around. He's going to want to be Justin Jefferson-esque money as well. So we're talking about a quarterback whose value is 50+ million, and 2 players that's around 35+ million as well, as far as yearly averages. That's a lot of money to dish out for 3 guys. So it's going to be kind of tough to see how they play it, to see if he gets over that $35 million mark. It's going to be a little bit tough for both of them, given the situations those teams are in. I feel like Justin Jefferson was in the best situation, given the fact that they're not playing a quarterback. So we're going to see what happens, but I think it's going to be tough to jump Justin Jefferson at this point.
Honestly. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, give us your thoughts and opinions on that topic. How do y'all feel about Justin Jefferson's new highest guarantee for non-quarterback in NFL history at $110 million guarantee? How y'all feel about his new contract? Y'all think it was rightfully deserved? Also, like Khalil just asked, what do y'all see receivers like T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and CeeDee Lamb getting as well? Also, how do y'all feel about Justin Jefferson's future? Do you feel like he's going to keep replicating those numbers and stats that he put up in the past with Kirk Cousins due to his new quarterback room? Leave that all in the comment section below. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 67 of Before the Horn podcast. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank y'all for tapping in, whatever platform you guys are watching and listen to us on. We appreciate all the support y'all been giving us. Also, you guys can support us by tapping into our Patreon. Again, for as little as $2 a month, you guys can help support us. Patreon comes with a lot of perks, such as being a special guest, giving us topics to talk about, interacting with us on a first-hand basis. We love interacting with you guys as it is, so Patreon definitely helps out with that. Again, for as little as $2 a month, you guys can help us out with our Patreon. It's much appreciated. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at Before the Horn Podcast. If you have not yet, check out our first Q&A that got posted with my cousin, former USF track athlete Maurice Knock. It's a very, very good interview. You guys should sit down and listen to it. It's only about an hour long, so take the time out your day to sit down, watch that, listen to it, give us your thoughts, feedback on that. But in the meantime, make sure you guys follow us on TikTok and Twitter at Before the Horn Pod. We appreciate all the love and support that we began. Make sure you guys keep sharing, keep getting this stuff out to your friends and family. We appreciate all the love and support, good, bad feedback that we've been getting. We're almost approaching the 1 year mark with 10 months in on this. We're grinding for it. We just appreciate it. We got a lot of big things coming up very, very soon, especially in season 2 that we're going to be rolling out. So, be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for a few announcements as well that we may have coming up. But in the meantime, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram. Keep showing love, keep liking, keep commenting, keep subscribing, keep supporting. Till next time. Thank you.
Episode 67 is now in the books. Thank y'all for tapping into Before the Horn podcast. We shall see you guys on the next one. Peace.